Hi guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner, and today I'm doing something just a little bit different, and I'm going to be playing with my Artesprix inks. Now, if you haven't heard about Artesprix, what the company does is they have created iron-on ink. A lot of you guys have heard of sublimation, and there's a lot of sublimation going on with special printers for this, but this brings it more into the general crafters world because we can do this with ink pads and markers, and I've got paints across the room. But this is so super cool because what we're going to do is we're going to use our regular stamps, the stamps that you've already got in your stash for crafting, and we're going to add it to this metal disc here, this hexagon. I guess it's a hexagon. Anyhow, we're going to be adding it to this, and it's going to bake into it, and it's going to be permanent. And this is going to be a magnet for my fridge. Now, I decided, I have been watching folks over on Twitch play a lot of Disney Dreamlight Valley. It's a super cute game. And of course, it's got me thinking Disney. And then I thought, well, I have some Mickey Mouse stamps that I haven't used yet. I had gotten these at Hobby Lobby, I think, on sale, but I have never ever used them. So I thought that would be kind of cool to do for this. Because what is the hardest part for me on any project? It's figuring out what the heck I want to do with it. So the way that this works, we're first going to put everything down onto some plain copy paper. Yes, this is actually out of my trash. Where my husband had printed out a label to go on a package for him to ship out, and this is just the excess. So I am on the part that hasn't been used yet. I'm going to trace out my shape. I've already done one, and I think I'm going to actually do two. That way I can do my stamping and coloring kind of close together. I think I'm going to actually put it here. But once I get all of the stamping and everything done, I can cut these out to have them ready to go on a couple of these metal blanks. That's what they call all the pieces that you're able to put things on, because it's basically a blank slate and ready to go. Okay, so I've got my shapes done, and I think for the first one I want to have it with Mickey on there, and I think that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to put that down on my stamp block just like normal, like I was going to do this for a card. The stamp block, the ink does have this protective layer. This is one of the older ink pads, so I'm assuming that the new ones, packaging has changed, is basically the same way, and they have come out with multiple colors, which is awesome, meaning you can do your stamping in multiple colors. This case though, I'm going to be doing my stamping in black because it's Mickey Mouse, so I'm going to just put him down into the ink, and then I'm going to stamp him down. So there is Mr. Mickey. And yes, I know that it is showing, it's a bit splotchy because this is a brand new stamp and it's showing brown, but when it gets heated into the, when we apply heat to it and do the transfer, it does wind up changing the color. And it's the same with all of these sublimation inks. They all are more vibrant than what you think. And I've decided I'm going to use this kind of as a little accent. Just kind of random, and that probably had a little bit too much pressure. Okay, kind of all around it, and you just do what you want on there. It doesn't really matter. What this is going to wind up doing is going to color everything, and then this is going to go right there. So it's only going to be part of what I've stamped is going to show. So for the other one, I decided I wanted to use Minnie Mouse. And this one has got some boxes. I think it is super cute for Minnie on there. So let me grab out one of these. And again, I haven't used any of these stamps yet. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with Minnie and put her kind of in the middle here. And it looks like I did not add enough ink up at the top. So I'm going to try to get that back on there straight and just add that little bit. Okay, that I think is going to be good enough. I think it is super cute. So next I'm going to be coloring this up. Now the marker, it's got a chisel nib with a pointed end, which is nice. And it's going to look very muted. The color is not going to be vibrant like my nails, but when we get done, it is going to look so much better. So I am just going to add some color down. You'll see what I mean? It is a dark red there. Does not look quite right, but that is totally fine because this is going to, the heat is going to affect it and it's going to bake in with a lot of that color. And now you don't have to stay inside the lines, but I think I drew the lines so light on there that I may not be able to see it when I go to put this in place. We'll just see how it goes. Okay, so the frame is done for Miss Minnie. Now I'm going to color on Mickey's image over here. So I'm coloring around all of his little hands because I don't want the hands are going to stay white. Basically, the majority of this is going to stay white. And these colors are translucent, so that's one reason why I'm trying not to go over the black stamping with my red, because I want the black to be showing too. Okay, so that looks like it's pretty good. Okay, so I need to color his little tongue in as well. And same thing for Minnie. I need to color in her tongue. And I think I'm also going to do the same thing with her hat. And might as well add a little red to her flowers up at the top. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that. So next I'm going to go ahead and cut out a couple of pieces so that I can start putting everything pretty much together to be able to do the heating. So next we're going to need a couple of other products that you can get at Artesprix. Number one, we need the protective mat. This is a thick rubber, silicone, I'm not sure, but it's a thick mat that's going to absorb the heat, and it's designed specifically for you to use in this fashion with these products. Second, you're going to need some kind of a heat press. Now I've got my Cricut Easy Press over here. It is set to 400 degrees, and for this project I checked timer. There we go. I checked on the website when you get your blanks on the website, it does tell you how long you need to do it using a heat press for this, okay? And for this specific item, the little magnets, it says 75 seconds. So I've got that one set. I'm going to put it off to the side, and I'm not going to hit the button to go until I'm basically ready to go with this. Okay, so the way that this is going to work, I've got some heat resistant tape, also from Artesprix. I'm going to put my blank down onto my image the way that I want it to go. And on this one, I've got everything pretty much lined up the way I need it. And then I'm going to tape this down. This is heat resistant tape. You don't want to use anything like washi tape or anything like that because it is not going to work. And I'm going to tape it on there pretty well. Now the reason that we do that is we don't want it to shift. So I'm going to go ahead and tape it on 3 sides. And the tape is reusable. The only downside I would say is that if when you do your heating you get some of the ink onto some of the tape, it could transfer onto your next project. So you don't want to do that. Now I'm going to just trim it down a little bit more because I don't really need all this excess. Now the next thing we've got is some protective paper. This is similar to butcher paper. You can use butcher paper, but this is what the professionals use. Artesprix has basically outsourced this to find exactly what the professionals use to give you the absolute best product. So the way the sandwich works is you're going to want to have one on top and one on bottom, and I like to just fold it in half. I feel that that works pretty well. You're going to want your image to be face up because that's where your heat is going to come down onto it, okay? So put it down with the protective paper underneath. and then protective paper over the top. So that's your sandwich. And then I'm going to go ahead and click the button on here. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Okay. Okay, this is heated up and ready to go. So now I can place this down directly. You do not want to move it. It's not like ironing anything. You need to just go directly down. I'm going to put some pressure on it and hit the button, and we're going to just wait for 75 seconds. This is probably the most nerve-wracking part of it, is waiting, because of course we want to see what is it going to look like. Okay, we're almost there. One. Okay, now I can go ahead and lift this up, put it back off to the side, and you can already see the color coming through pretty well there. And this actually just popped right off without me needing to do anything additional. So look at that. I'm not touching the metal because the metal is very hot, but those colors came through perfect. And this is very vibrant, and it is going to stay that way. This is baked into the metal, so it's not where anything is going to scrape off or anything. And because this one had so much of the ink come off of it, this I'm going to throw away. And I'll use a new one for the next color, or for the next piece. I'm going to do the same thing. So we're going to do a second magnet. I'm going to cut some paper, big enough for my blank. I'm going to fold it in half, or you could cut it in half. Actually, I'll go ahead and cut it in half. That way you guys can see both ways to do it. So cut it in half. We've got our second Mickey, or our Mickey to go along with our Minnie, and I'm going to go ahead and take out another one of the coasters. This pack came with 4. I'm going to place it basically face down onto my image so that the colored part, the part that I added all of the coloring to, is touching the white surface. And then I'm going to tape it down with some of this heat resistant tape. And since I don't really need all the excess paper, I'm going to go ahead and trim it down. Okay, so we'll put down one sheet of our protective paper, put our Mickey with the inked side face up. So we've got the blank on the bottom, we've got the paper on the top, and then we put down our second piece of protective paper on top of that. And then we're going to go again. I'm going to try to uncurl this first. I'm going to try to get the cord to work right with it. So I'm going to come straight down onto my blank, hit the button, and we're going to wait for 75 seconds. Okay, we are all good. Go ahead and lift this up. And let's take a look. Oh, and that looks awesome too. Look at that. I think these turned out great. So this is a great option. And once they cool down, I'm going to go ahead and put the magnet piece on the back. Okay, so now we can add our little magnets on, but kind of in between, because I saw there was so much extra ink still left on these, I decided to do like a little test. I bought some fabric, a remnant from Joann's a while back. That was, this is 97% polyester. And because, my thought is just because the stamping I didn't get dark enough, meaning use your MISTI, it's probably going to work better. Because it didn't go that well, it didn't really transfer as much as I was thinking, but still, that is like second generation and it still turned out awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put my magnets on the back and make sure that it's right side up. It doesn't really matter, yeah. Anyway, and this is the first time playing with these magnets, but it looks like that the adhesive comes off of the back. And so I'm going to do like I always do, get the release paper by grabbing it with my tweezers, and just put that on the back there. And now we've got a nice little fridge magnet. So this would be a perfect gift for any of your Disney lovers in your family or friends. Okay, so we have a pair of cool little magnets there. It didn't take hardly any time to get those done. I think what took the longest was number one, the coloring, and number two, waiting for the heat press to finish working. Just waiting that 75 seconds? I believe it was 75 seconds. You want to make sure to double check with every blank that you use to see what the proper heat and time is supposed to be for it. But, I mean, how many of these things could you knock out in like a day or two and give out as your Christmas gifts this year? You guys have a wonderful day. Be sure to check out this playlist for some more projects where I'm making cool projects using Artesprix products. You guys have a great day, and remember, if I can make it, you can too. Talk to you soon.